Outdoor America has two new adventure seekers on the Wild West Trail. Meet Mark and Terrence. Mark is a successful businessman. He's got the private jet and all the toys. His best friend Terrence is a police officer from Iowa. They love nothing more than taking to the desert in their custom off-roaders in search of great four-wheeling, ghost towns, abandoned mines, and pretty much anything and anyone crazy they can find. As they say, you can't make this stuff up. Join us on the road with the Rubberfoot Buffaloes. So the Buffaloes are back on the road heading for Salton Sea, an abandoned resort. They could have gone via regular roads, but Mark wants to go across the hills in the Jeeps as there's a particular set of off-road trails he wants to conquer.
Basically, this off-road area is closed, and the reason it's closed is the ground is still soft from all the rain and snows, and they don't want us driving on their primary roads because they need to get their fire trucks in and out of here. The trail that we're going to take, known as Sidewinder, incidentally, happens to be the only trail available to us, and we have permission to go use this trail.
Traversing these trails, they've wisely taken local guide Bear Claw with them. The one issue they're having, though, is the inability of either of them to tell their left from their right.
Well, when I'm sitting in the vehicle, my right is this way, but your right is this way. Try to get that figured out before you go off of a sheer mountain cliff to your ultimate death. We came up with a new driver-passenger.
Yep.
So turn your wheels to the driver's side, turn your wheels to the passenger side. Now I'll let you continue on.
Driver
Sorry.
PAX. I remember saying it's either driver or PAX, P-A-X, and you go, PAX, what's PAX? And I go,
PAX.
You're an aviator. When you look at your weight and balance, it's PAX weight. When you came down the hill and I was guiding you down, I could not see your back tire. It was on the other side of that giant boulder, and then you rolled up and over it, and your tires just caught on that left rock, and then you dropped down, but you stayed on the rock. You can see where you slid off it.
Yeah.
You slid off it, and then you had to come up over that next one. It was unbelievable. I couldn't believe how much your suspension was flexed.
Well, I heard some articulation. I hope it wasn't any type of bending.
Creaking and
but there was a lot of creaking and popping I've never heard before, but that was some of the most intense four-wheeling we've done yet.
Well, we made our way down the hill pretty well. We're stopped now because we've got a pretty good-sized tree blocking our path. We're going to have to look and see if we can winch it out of the way or find an alternative trail. And I'm thinking the alternative trail is out of the question, so time to get out and see what's going on here. The only way we could drag it was straight to us, so we came up with this idea of using a pulley strapped to another tree as a fulcrum so we could get this geometry to drag it up sideways. I'm in there cutting on it. You and Bear Claw are trying to hook it up and get it hooked to something we're not pulling out of the ground.
We hooked it to a rock. We hooked the pulley
Is that
to
what
a
it was?
rock the size of one of our Jeeps.
Yeah.
It grabbed a hold of that rock and started pulling the rock down the hill where Bear Claw says, stop. It was about to tip the rock and roll down.
While others go high-tech, Mark is going back to caveman tree surgery.
I look it over and he's coming down the hill. And I'm like, oh my God, he's going to cut the tree in half with an axe. Which I'm glad you did. You took a lot of branches down. But then you worked at the big trunk.
My whole plan was, well, because I was a fifth wheel at that moment, you and Bear Claw were working out all the winching, geometry, and all that.
Winches.
At the very least, if we weren't able to get it up the side of the ridge forming the road, I was at least going to clear enough branches off to get by it without scratching or damaging the Jeep. So I just occupied my time chopping up branches. So we negotiate that and we get through that and we're thinking this is going to be okay. It was just around every single corner was an oh my God moment. The producer and I get out of the black Buffalo and we walk up and simultaneously we go, you have got to be kidding me. And there's this giant piles of rocks the size of the hoods of the Jeep, the size of the Jeep, and we have to crawl down that.
They're finally out then. Make a note, the shortcut added 2.5 hours to the journey and involved felling a tree, just so as you know. Now, at last, they can see the flat salt plains in the distance and the answer to what's been bugging Mark.
Flying back and forth into San Diego and whatnot, I would always look down at the Salton Sea. And one time, center had me get especially low, and I'm looking down, and I can see all this structure and whatnot, and I'm curious. I'm like, what in the heck is all that? You know, it's just, I really couldn't tell from the air. I was really excited to get out there and explore that.
If you walk through here, and you look down, here's a, you're all bone, dead fish.
Oh man, it is soft.
Everything is dead fish.
It is dead fish.
Yeah.
Well, look at there.
Here's a skull.
I believe that's a petrified penis from a prehistoric prince, actually. No, it's a stick.
The RV resort we were at, you know, the campground was all gone. I mean, everything was gone.
But what was
Just
crazy
rust.
was the pipes the dump out pipes and the electrical wires that were just snipped off at ground level, and it's just like, it was almost like a nuclear bomb had gone off and just wiped it out.
Yeah.
These are the RV stalls to the resort. So out here where our Jeeps are parked was the beach. So they built like a makeshift seawall to keep probably the water spray up. But we've got just a little playground, the slide and the water swim ladder.
Imagine our, Airstream campers just lined up here. Airstream, all of your old vintage campers just lined up here. What I can describe as the rotten fish smell was everywhere.
Yeah.
I'm actually standing in fish bones. I mean, look, if you look down here, my flip-flop, there's a skull of a fish.
They used to fish for big bass and stuff, but it killed all the fish. It was just absolutely destroyed that whole body of water. There's some reclamation group now that want to, go in and restore it by flooding it from water out of the canal and trying to reduce the selenium.
We're gonna head up to the old resort. I mean, this place is literally almost, I'd consider a ghost town.
So, Mark's thoughts of a deck chair by the sea are dashed, but he's not given up hope on finding an ice cream cellar.
And it's crazy to think the water used to be all the way up here to that high ridge.
And stay on this beaten path. It gets a little soft there. It started to sink.
All right, copy that. You're on point. Let's go down here and see if we can get around this beachhead. So what do you think this building was? Do you think these were rental rooms, or do you think it was just a shower house?
Well, back in the day, I guess, my guess is, looking at this was some sort of a resort.
Well, the sign coming in said Marina and RV Resort.
Okay, there you go.
There's a bed in here. Now, somebody either was using it as a homeless place, or maybe they rented these out. You wouldn't have these many windows and stuff if it was an actual shower house. Oh yeah, there's an old couch in here.
Yeah, it would.
It could have just been a bunch of kids brought all this stuff in here to party. Here's where the phone hung, right here. Yep. Pick up the receiver.
Hello.
Cord's all tangled up. Hello. So we'll continue on and see if we can make it down to the old resort. But like you said, this looks like maybe old piers or a place for mooring boats at one time.
So we're standing right now in the, what do you want to say it? It is the swimming pool.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, there's the brass rail where the swim ladder would have been to get out of the end. Oh no, the diving board would have sat on that.
Yeah, that's the diving board right here. See, this was the 8-foot deep mark.
I'm gonna have to talk to the pool maintenance guy. He's not doing a very good job. A thriving community and Mother Nature came, and through an anomaly of weather in the 70s, which is recent history, and it rained and rained and rained, and it just flooded all this out and just took it from a 20-year thriving resort community. The Rat Pack, Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin, Sammy Davis Jr. But these guys were coming down here and they were trying to make this the new Palm Springs.
Yeah.
And at the time it was probably a brilliant idea.
Yeah, take a look at that. I mean, the water, this was the shoreline right here.
Yeah.
And it's gone. Now all you see is salt and dead fish bones, man.
That's
and
unbelievable.
Everybody packed up.
Yeah, now you got a few smatterings of trailers and campers that just come here to escape the brutal winters of up north. Met this guy who ran a welding shop, was telling us about some of the historical aspects of it.
Down the road here at Desert Shores, they got a place down there. If you take the right-hand road, drive to the Salton Sea, they got a place down there called Desert Shores Keys.
Yeah.
That's where people used to come in off the water. They parked their boats. They had houses up there on the keys. Everybody used to do that. Well, you can't do that anymore. You'd have to drag your boat 3/4 of a mile to get it into the water and drag it back out again. They're in process now of working a deal out to pump water back up into the Keys. The biggest problem with this right now is everything's dry. The stuff's so dry that when the wind blows, it gets in the air. If they would fill the sea back up and get it back up to the level it was in, say, 1960 even, it would stop all that blowing stuff, but you still have the problem the water's really nasty, so you'd have to do something.
Now, what were the 2 rivers that used to feed this?
Well, the two rivers that are feeding from Mexico right now is the New River and the Alamo.
I've noticed there's a big canal on the north side when I fly over, and it routes.
Yeah,
the water
that's Coachella Canal. It comes all the way from the river, and that feeds agricultural water for the farmers and stuff in the Coachella Valley.
Bombay Beach. It sounds like it's in India. What's the deal with the name?
Where the planes used to come with their bombing runs on the Salton Sea. They go out there and practice their bombing runs. They open up their Bombay doors, they do their thing, and then when they fly back, they usually close their Bombay doors right in that general area.
So you were in the Air Force?
Yeah.
You were in the Air Force, what year?
1962. I come back from overseas in 66. I got discharged in 67.
So you got to be involved with the Vietnam War then?
Well, we flew support out of Guam.
Wow.
And like I said, we had the B-52s there that they staged out there to do the bombing runs on Vietnam out of Guam and out of Thailand too.
He made one comment that just stuck, and that was, "You need to go to Slab City." And I'm like, "What is Slab City?" And he goes, "Just go."
Ask anybody down there where Slab City is, and they'll probably just go like that. Be careful where you go and what you do over there, because those people, they're just old hippies, basically.
All right, we'll be careful. All right.
Really be careful. All right,
Thank you again, sir. Very nice to meet you.
You too.
Take good care.
Nice meeting you too.
So what do you say? We get a beer.
Yeah, let's get out of here. I'm hot. It's seen enough of nothing. Let's
You left my door open.
Yeah, the British are famous for that, you know.
I have no idea. What's Slab City?
Well, it's like a hippie commune.
Yeah, you should have told me that before, since I'm a cop.
The boys are visiting Slab City, an alternative community on an old military encampment and the home to protected site of artistic interest, Salvation Mountain.
Let's talk about Salvation Mountain. There's nothing salvation about this mountain. Well, a guy built it. I got a little
What do you know
background
about
on
it?
I don't know much about it at all. So all of a sudden, this became like it's an abandoned marine base. It appears that there's a couple guys built this kind of as a shrine, and their goal is to attract the attention of people. So it appears that they this entire thing is constructed out of hay bales, mud, and paint, and maybe some sort of a clay, right, Mark?
Yeah, old adobe style, you know, mix your mud with your straw.
I mean, it's a remarkable fort, I guess you want to call it.
Hay bales right there, just embedded with mud.
We have one motto after being here for the day.
Drink more beer.
Say no to drugs.
Would it be wrong of me to say, I don't get it?
I don't get it. Well, you have to be totally stoned out of your mind to understand it, really. It's a heavy amount of drugs being smoked with paint and hay bales and mud. There's no salvation at Salvation Mountain.
So Crow is responsible for 6 hours of the day, 3 days a week, to guard
Salvation Mountain.
Usually I just wake up when the sun comes up and I walk the dog. There's this place called Slab Walmart. I'll walk through Slab Walmart. It's pretty much where all the townies come and dump their junk.
We get a stipends, but if we don't get a stipends, then we do dumpster diving, and we'll go out to the fill. And
The landfill.
Yeah, which is
Walmart is what they call it.
Oh, the Walmart. That's what they called it.
Folks, this is a landfill. I mean, you go to the garbage dump. It looks like some backyard, some redneck hillbilly house. It is hell.
But then I'll come back and I'll usually work on camp. I'll rake or I'll pick some stuff up. And then after I work a little bit, I cook lunch.
Oh, yeah.
'Cause it'll be 12 and then I come here.
You're asking, so how do you make money? Well, sometimes the people will go into Babylon and work and bring some money back.
Mojo's really awesome. She also has trailers full of work clothes, so if people do need to go into Babylon and they need to get a job or something, she'll help clothe them.
How do you survive? I mean, do you get paid to do what you're doing right now or something? How do you make money to
I get a
go to the
stipend.
line? Oh, you do?
Yeah.
And who pays that to you?
It's a government stipend because we are national folk art piece, and we're also a national treasure.
Oh, so you just get like a debit card or something you can use or whatever.
I don't get the card. The caretaker, he gets the card.
Where's he at?
He's actually running around.
Oh.
Usually he gets to take a nap because this is my shift, and he like watches it all night, the mountain.
How do you eat? Where do you eat?
Bubba's has really good breakfast, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. They have like $2 breakfast. You can get like these big pancakes, 2 big pancakes with peanut butter, hash browns, and coffee for like $2.50.
Really?
Yeah, it's really awesome. And
Oh my God.
sometimes you can trade them bud for it. They don't really give a hoot.
Well, we've got cold beer at our Jeeps if you need one. Just for
I think she
talking.
was
Okay,
referring
well-
to a different kind of bud.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
right.
yeah. Oh, you were?
Different kind of bud. But yeah, I mean, like a cold beer will go really far here.
She'll trade work for a couple of buds, and you're thinking, yeah, I got a couple of Budweisers in the cooler. I'm like, no, moron, a couple of buds is in marijuana buds. Jeez.
If I wouldn't have known any different, you set me up on this deal.
I didn't know Crow Lady was
we
going to
shouldn't
be
even
there.
be talking about this. The statute of limitations isn't up yet.
So it's kind of like a commune,
Yeah.
and you have somebody, the caretaker's probably the head of the commune, and he's responsible and kind of helps keep things in line and things like
well,
that.
for the
or-
mountain, yeah,
Yeah.
you could say there's a little commune. It's really just like we have a caretaker to watch over the mountain so that it doesn't get tagged or destroyed or anything. But like as far as like Slab City goes, we have a board of members and like we have a treasury. So when people donate here, we try to do the most that we can with it. And most of the time, that's like trying to go to water, or people that really need food, or the vet bills and stuff like this. We have tons of dogs out here. There's tons of other things that it goes to first.
It was interesting to listen to her. I'm thinking she came from a family of substance. She had very straight teeth, and I'm
Substance
sure
abuse.
I wasn't going to go there.
Right after Mojo is the Ponderosa. That's our Airbnb for Slab City. They're really awesome. Shannon and Spider, they run the place really well. They have 2 wonderful kids that go to public school, and they just had piglets there.
Crow, is it all right for us to drive through some of the campground area or not?
Oh yeah, this is
Okay.
all the places that you're more than welcome at. That's what I'm telling you.
So anyway, Crow's telling us about Spider, who, near as I can tell, he's kind of the camp overseer. He seems
He's
to
like
be
the
the
mayor.
connection, but he's an entrepreneur.
This piece here is going to be for my pigs and my chickens.
There's the pig.
I'm going to be raising pigs out here and chickens. This is all so I can be fully self-sustainable. I'll have my own meat, my own birds, my own eggs, and later on I'll have my own vegetables. I got aquaponics to do, and to be fully self-sustainable. Solar,
Oh,
the whole
wow.
9 yards.
Where does your water come from?
But right now we get it from town.
Oh,
Or I go pump it out of the front canal, or I pump it out of that canal.
what's that canal? Government
That's the canal that feeds irrigation the rest of the state.
Well, you can't drink that water, can you?
Well, if you let it sit out in the sun and let the sun hit it, it purifies it.
Oh, it does.
Yeah. Put it in a clear bottle.
He's building his hog production facility.
Yes.
He's got 1 big sow and a couple of pigs that didn't get crushed by the sow.
Yep.
He's got his chicken coop that he's designing by taking apart a camper and then putting the windows in his chicken coop.
Hydroponic lab.
Hydroponic lab.
I mean, what it was. I just got you to say it.
So what is the requirement to bring a camper out here? Is there a...
You get in your truck, you put your camper on your truck, you drive out here, say, hey, what's up?
You gotta be kidding
love
me,
it.
man.
Everything's pretty much common sense, You
Yeah.
don't go into somebody's backyard,
Right.
even though it's not their backyard, but if there's a fence around it, they're calling it theirs.
Yeah, or some-
Just like here.
Where's your home originally?
My home originally
Yeah.
is here in California.
Oh, you're born and raised in California?
I came from Rhode Island.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, I had a job working every day. Plowed streets of Rhode Island and fixed my landlord's houses, worked on his diesel trucks.
Wow, so you're pretty
I
self-sufficient.
got tired of people not showing gratuity. You know what gratuity is?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
What's a form of gratuity?
Saying thank you. Paying back a
Thank you.
kindness. Yeah. Well, we actually wanted to buy a cold beer.
Oh yeah.
Can we? And he's got the bar.
Yeah, he's got a bar.
I think his encampment there is called the Ponderosa. God, it's nice. You want to sip?
No, I'm good. Stands in the back line and you don't say shit.
As long as it comes out of a sealed bottle, sealed can, or goes over an open flame until it's burnt, it doesn't go across my lips in environments like that. So we go in and we decided we wanted a beer. That challenged him a bit, but we found some cold beers. You know, sun's starting to come down, and I just remember Wade the welder said you don't want to be there after dark. Can you believe what we just saw?
If you don't have any wants, you don't have any needs.
Yeah.
That's what they said to me. So, you live in Slab City, you don't want anything. You just want to be peace and cool.
Peace,
You
love.
have no goal to better yourself. I looked at this gal and I said, what's your goal here? Nothing.
No goal.
Nothing.
Yeah.
I have no
written
wants.
business plans, no goal. Although Spider has a plan to expand the bar, and
Yeah, spiders.
and he's building his hog unit and all that. We could criticize the way they're living, but they're living the way they want to live, and so I can't criticize it. And it's not the way I want to live, but it's certainly a different lifestyle than I ever want to experience. I have to give it to Spider. He's actually entrepreneurial, industrious. He's got his bar. Did you see all the empty beer bottles and whiskey bottles? And
Yeah.
I mean, so obviously he's selling drinks. You notice he gave no one out there a break on free beer.
No.
I mean, he's not benevolent in that regard because he's out there, he's making money. And so as it relates to the camp, he's an entrepreneur.
It's a community of that's probably one of the last in the United States that I can imagine, where people just live free and the government kind of leaves them alone.
Yeah, you know, what better place than be left alone? Well, buddy, I'll tell you what, let's go back to camp. We
All
got
right.
some ribeyes
Let's do it.
and a salad and some
Ribeyes? Ooh,
potatoes that I'm
cool.
gonna bake up. So anyway, fun experience. You can't make this shit up.